Yeah, of course we're late. Oh, hey. Hi there. Welcome to ISO Buddies ISO Podcasts. Tonight we're going to be a snake cast. We're going to talk about snakes, but while you're here, in the comments, if you want to leave a comment, we are in discussion right now of doing a Redbubble page. I don't know if any of you know, but I've done the artwork for the thumbnails and the header and whatever. I thought I might put some stuff on Redbubble. We'll see what happens. If anybody might be interested in that or think that's a good idea or think that it's really, really dumb, I want to hear from you. Go ahead. Say it's dumb. That's fine. Tonight, we are missing a co-host again. I don't know what the situation is. We're going to talk about it this week, but we'll see. She's a very busy lady. So that said, we are going to speak with Amy Castles tonight. She is like a snake whisperer, basically. So I don't know that she whispers that quietly. So we'll see. You'll see. She's got some attitude. She's bopping around her room right now getting ready. Other than that, thanks for coming in. It's Tuesday night. It's 8:30, and this is what we do on Tuesdays. So let's welcome Amy Castles. Amy Castles, welcome to ISO Buddies.
Hello, I'm Amy.
That's Amy. Yeah, that's Amy. We have the same haircut. I didn't realize. So.
Yeah, so he's probably going to poop on me while I've got little one.
Treat. Oh, you got two out at once.
Yeah, I figure, because these are kind of not my main, but they were like my original like breeding plan or whatever. So I've got my big girl out. Believe it or not, she like 2 weeks ago ate her first meal in 9 months. So I mean, she looks pretty damn good, I think. But
is that the one that you said you left her a rat and she just left it there to rot, or is that a different snake?
Yeah, she's done that twice now. Today was the second time.
You guys are totally convincing me not to get rats.
I can still smell it a little bit, actually. I have not been able to purge that smell from my house yet.
So gross. So gross. I guess you could put it with the isopods, or that's a reason to have a ton of isopods in their container. But
the isopods, I've definitely given them some of the like smaller ones, like the pinkies and stuff. But it was a small mouse, not a small rat, so it was a little too big. I wouldn't put that in with them. But
I feel like my dairy cows, you would just hear like and then there'd be bones.
I'll put the pinkies in with the dairy cows. I have 2 dairy cow cultures going, and honestly, like I'm not really selling any isopods, so they're really just like my cleanup crew because like they can't go in any of the like bioactive cages because of the like they're so protein hungry. So I just give them whatever I have left over, and it disappears.
I wonder if a boa would eat that, like a rat that's covered in isopods.
Oh, God. I mean, if it smells like a rat enough, the boas will eat anything.
Fair enough. So what is this you have on your neck? What is this? What do we have up?
So this is Skittles. She is an albino ball python. She is either 4 or really close to 4 years old. And she was actually the second snake I ever got.
Okay.
And she was kind of like my first snake. He was just kind of like, I guess you could say like the introduction to everything. I wasn't really like a fan of snakes when I got him. And she was I spent more on her. I was like, snakes are pretty cool. Like, I'm going to like invest a little bit. And I got her. And I mean, it didn't take long for me to realize that I wanted to eventually breed her and get more and everything. So here we are. But so he is the second male I've got for her. Actually, I ended up, because my breeding goal for her is albino pied, because everybody loves a good pied, everybody loves albino. That's like my favorite. And so the male I got for her was kind of questionable at first. So he was a pied, he was maybe het albino, she's maybe het pied. So I actually traded him for this little guy because he is albino yellow belly, and I decided to just go for albino for now and then maybe work that in later.
I mean, you got time. What are you, like 19? You're good.
I'm 20 now.
You're 20 now. I was so close. I was gonna say 12, but that seemed like a real jerk move.
No.
So.
Actually, my mom like last week told me I look like a 12-year-old boy.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
I'm always joking with people because like growing up, because I look younger than I am in a lot of situations. So like I always tell people I look like I'm 12, 13. So like accurate, but
fair enough. As long as you have a driver's license, whatever.
I have that.
So we kind of jumped off track immediately, which is totally legit for the show.
Uh-oh.
So no, it's good. I usually like to establish people's like their resume, as it were, before we jump into the animals. But I love the animals, so that's fine. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. We always jump off track. So that's kind of our signature trademark. That's a double whammy right there, signature trademark. So we'll start with our basic questions, right? We talked about pied albino. We talked about ball pythons a little bit. Did you see that crazy snake I posted from NARBC? That like all white. It was a reticulated python. It was pure white with black and yellow spots. Like it looked like
the cow retic or something.
I don't know what it was called. The guy was like, "I'll take a Ferrari for it." Like a legit Ferrari is what he wanted to trade for.
Jeez. I want to say it was a cow retic you posted. I'm not 100%. I'm seeing the same thing you were. You posted it recently, right?
Yeah, right after NARBC. So last week, maybe it was last week.
I'm not sure. Maybe it was something new, but it looked kind of like a cow retic. That's what I used to see. Except
it was like 13 feet long.
So.
The markings were like a magic potion isopod. Like it was that. Like black spots, yellow spots, irregularly spaced, and white.
I think the cows were just black and white then.
Yeah, this had like golden yellow, like lemon yellow spots. Wow. The size of a quarter or a $50. It was beautiful. I was getting ready to take a picture. I don't give a crap about snakes generally, but I was getting ready to take a picture and was blown away by it. And then he got it out, like he took it out of the tub to put it on a kid. And I was like, please eat this kid. Please. I want to videotape this kid. Like, please. There was one person that got attacked by the snake they just bought, but that was out of stubbornness. Yeah. I don't know if I told the story on here last week. What's that?
That sounds pretty familiar with the got me on the back of the head.
Amy got bit in the back of the head by her latest acquisition, right? You don't have another snake since then, right?
No, she's the newest currently.
She's a rescue?
No, I paid god-awful amount of money for her. I paid $800 for this snake, and I regret it.
What is she?
She's an olive python girl.
This explains why Amy couldn't get on her phone for StreamYard, because she paid $800 for a damn snake. So, yeah. Which I would pay that price.
I'm a dumbass. Like, I shouldn't have done that. I got my stimulus check, and I'm just like, ooh, snake.
You got a snake with your Biden bucks. Beautiful.
I'm not even kidding. I just like dug quarters out of my car to get home the other night. So now I'm like, I've got my one friend who was like mad when I bought that snake. So now I'm like debating, being like, hey, are you still wanting that snake?
Yeah, sell it. Put a little markup on there. Well, Amy is also the only person I've ever known who has crap. Grady's here and he's loving the hair. I was hoping, fingers crossed. My hair looks amazing tonight. I don't know if you noticed, but it looks really good, Amy. It's back on point. So you're a little too young to notice the classic hairdos that I put on. But Amy's the only person I've ever known or heard of in the hobby. And I'm in like 47 groups of isopods and inverts that has been bitten by a millipede and drawn blood.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
The only person ever. It was a giant African, right? Or was it the Arizona desert one or whatever?
It was chocolate something. I don't have them anymore. Big fucker, little. Oh, sorry. Little
sorry, Ophi.
Brown thing.
Tyler doesn't care. He's half a man now, but Ophi's a little innocent baby girl.
I'm sorry.
She might be watching or watch tomorrow. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think that was live on the air.
Yeah,
we were live in the call.
The isopod chats. It was like the skin in between something on my knuckle that she got me on.
and she bled. So it was pretty awesome to see that happen live. I wouldn't have believed it. I'd be like, she's full of crap. Like, what are you talking about?
No, it was a good drop of blood.
So you just spent $800 on a snake and then had to spend quarters for gas for your car. I've been there. I was 20. I've been there. When did you first get serious about keeping snakes? Like, obviously, it was a little while ago. Or reptiles in general, I guess, because you've got that big grow tent for your water monitor, right?
I don't have him anymore. The corner you see behind me replaces where that was.
Okay.
He was really old, and he did end up passing away a little bit ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Probably about a month after he passed away, I was able to part with that monstrosity of a tent.
Okay.
And then I quickly filled it with more cages.
It looks like it didn't take you very long at all. Was that part of the Biden bucks too, or was that
part of the what?
The Biden bucks, the stimulus?
Oh, yeah, I guess actually.
Sorry, for those of you that don't know, the first stimulus is called Trump change. The second stimulus is Biden bucks. So
yeah, I wasn't gonna get it at all, and then I just got it all of it at the same time. So
weird.
I got the 1400 and like 900 or something all at the same time, because my mom, I haven't lived with my mom in like 2 years, and she's still been claiming me as a dependent or whatever. So she got my stuff, said she did it, and then like the IRS is all like, we've already paid you. But I was able to get it sorted, and I didn't think I was going to get anything, and then all of a sudden I got it all at once. So yeah, I'm kind of dumb.
Cheyenne just popped in and said he is a dude about my size and a bit burly, and he says that a smoke yolk bit him and drew blood.
Damn, yeah. See, like I'm not the only one.
I just don't believe it. My smoke yolks were such babies.
I know. I mean, when I had the Hoffman's isopods, one of them bit and it kind of hurt too, but it didn't bleed.
I had one give me a pinch. I had a Hoff give me a pinch. It got in between like my nail and my cuticle, and it was like, I'm gonna eat that. And I was like, yeah, sure, bro. And he got in there real good. So okay, back to the question before we get off track again. Fungus gnats. Sorry. When did you first get serious about herps?
Oh, sorry.
That's cool. No, fine. I barely remembered what we were talking about.
So she was my second snake, the big one, not the little one.
Okay.
I'm tied together now. My first. She's going on 4 now. I think she is 4, and I had my first snake for about 2 years before I got her. Okay. He was a pewter ball python, so kind of cinnamon colored. And I was actively breeding rats around then, like pet rats. I was in high school, and I actually got him as a coal disposal, as horrible as that sounds.
Ah, it sounds great.
But it didn't work out because rats grow really fast and snakes don't. So
yeah.
And snakes also, well, ball pythons at least eat about once a week. And within a week, your rat's going to be double, triple in size and too big for the snake. So he'd be able to eat like 1 out of a litter of like 14. And like, that doesn't help.
No, unless you're feeding them the total pinkies, right? But they don't. I mean, ball pythons, they're not that big anyway, full grown. Like she's pretty much full grown, right?
Even a baby here, like she'll probably get a little bigger. When I first got her, I was only feeding her mice for like the first 2 years of her life, and you're supposed to switch them to rats earlier, but I didn't realize that. So, I mean, I've probably accidentally stunted her a little bit, and she's also just not eaten the past 9 months because she's a ball python and they like to pull shit like that. And so she could be bigger. She could definitely be bigger. She's just kind of hitting breeding size. She was hitting breeding size right as she stopped eating.
Now, what's the lifespan on these guys, the ball python?
I mean, that's kind of up for debate. If you like properly care for them, oh look, they're like intertwining.
Started. We're gonna see a first breeding program right here.
No, he's still too little. But age-wise, I mean, I don't know like 100%, but I have seen ball pythons in their 20s.
Okay, that's fair.
Reptiles can live for a good amount of time if properly cared for.
Yeah, most of them, right? Most of them live like surprisingly long lives.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a tortoise. All right,
Yeah,
so
tortoises can live for like 80 years and stuff. You got to like put them in your will.
Oh, yeah. Right. Like sulcatas, no joke.
Yeah.
Do you have any special like training that got you into the hobby, or is it just like hobbyist? Being a hobbyist for so long has gotten you out.
More so that, I mean, I've been looking into more like actual venomous handling stuff, and there was a class I missed the deadline for last month, master herpetologist certification thing, but I'm hoping I'll be able to catch that next year.
That'd be cool. Does that have to do something with handling venomous snakes?
That one, no, that one's just like general care and like the certification and everything. It's honestly like stuff I already know from experience, but like I figure a little piece of paper would be good to have.
Yeah, because you're in Florida, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you could just go out backyard and find something venomous, probably.
I've tried. I have never been able to. It's always the idiots who want to kill them that can find them. Like the people who are like genuinely want to like take cool pictures and like just leave them be can never find them.
Right, and just like, maybe you shouldn't be in this suburb. I'll move you over.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like we got gators everywhere. We got like black racers and stuff. But
where are you at in Florida? Like what area? I don't even know the city.
Like Pasco, the shitty area.
What's that?
Is
that on the Gulf side, kind of?
I don't know, actually.
On the east or the west side?
I think it's closer on the west side, honestly. I'm not super good with directions and everything, but I had the guy who brought these cages behind me recently, he was coming down and he Googled my area and he was like, oh, your area came up as #1 worst area to go in Florida.
Yeah, I want to go down and make a trip and just catch some of those, well, I shouldn't say this live on the air, but those giant African land snails that are super illegal to have. Like, I would dispose of them, surely, before I got to Illinois.
I haven't seen any of the giant ones I've seen. You see a lot of, like, the apple snails. You see the clusters of them on the reeds and stuff if you go to the water.
Yeah. Oh, but those are pretty much native, right? They're in Wisconsin. They're everywhere.
Not the apple snails. There's another big kind that has the same looking pink eggs that is native. I can't remember though. But
I don't know what's native to California or to Florida anymore. Everything is.
I know, right? Crazy. Not so much in my area, but if you go down south, you start seeing all the iguanas and everything.
We had a question actually from the audience for once, except for Biggs trying to ask us to start over because he showed up early and then late.
Oh no.
Do you use isopods in any of your snake enclosure? Ben's Bugs wants to know if you use isopods.
Not yet. Not any of my snake enclosures. I have I've turned the lights back on. They're past their due date for bedtime, but oh god, this is weird. Where's the fuck? Whoop, there it
is. Easy. Oh my god. We've done so well for so long.
I'm sorry. I'm so bad. I kind of censored myself.
She's from Florida, folks.
But so these two cages up here are crested gecko bioactive tanks.
Okay, cool.
This one has Murina in it, and this one has powder orange. This one is a monitor enclosure, and he has... I don't know. I didn't even put isopods in there. They just kind of showed up. But I think they're the powder oranges from here. They usually sit under the water bowl, and then she has powder whites in hers. And then here's my actual isopods.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. They're in the tiny bins. Awesome. All right, they're going back away.
I'm just setting him down so he doesn't poop on me.
Now, what type of monitor you have there?
Both of them are a dwarf species of monitor. They're Aki monitors or spiny tail monitors, depending on who you ask. But they're yellow Akis.
Awesome. What can we see one of those guys or no?
The monitors, they're not
Yeah.
gonna come out. They like around 7, they burrow into the dirt and they don't show back up until morning.
Got you. That's fair. That's fair.
I might have a picture of one that I could attempt to show.
We can put it in the comments later.
Okay.
Is there anything else you can get out for us, or should we just go into the questions more?
Do you want a snake or a gecko?
We're kind of doing snakes tonight, so let's do some snakes.
So I can pull. I got Freya. She's a pretty cool boa. Excuse me. All right, so this is Miss Freya. She is a Suriname true red tail BCC boa. She's 2 years old, and I got her from a guy named Ace Boas, who I do highly recommend.
Ace Boas, are they out of Florida?
No, I want to say. I almost want to say Illinois for some reason, but I feel like that's wrong. But he shipped to me.
Yes, it's silent. Yes, it's silent like an a-hole.
I don't live
Illinois. Illinois. All right, I'll just call it Florida. It'll be fine.
There we go.
We've got a good audience tonight. We've got Ophi's Spider-Verse is here. Wally's here.
It's because
Cheyenne from Pod Solo's here. I guess, man. Holy cow. We're going to have you back next week. So what got you into the hobby? Like, what got you into reptiles? I know you're weird. You've been weird a long time, right? So
yeah,
that's like a
there's
weird
definitely that. In high school, I was the crazy rat girl. I walked around the school with like a pet rat on my shoulder and such. And I think pretty much dealing with the rats and like the original coal disposal purchase that didn't work out, he made me realize that the snakes were pretty cool because in high school I had 2 different classrooms with snakes in the classroom, and I never really like touched them or anything, but they were like cool to look at. Don't look at me like that. And
if you get bit in the neck tonight, oh my god, I'm gonna send you a free t-shirt because that better get us views.
I'm tempted to pull out the olive python, but if I do, I'm gonna get bit and there's gonna be blood.
Is it that savage? Like that thing is that savage?
She's 5 for 5 now on being touched and biting and not letting go.
Oh my god.
I
don't want that. I don't want to deal with that.
I don't know where I put it, actually. Okay, well, never mind on my emergency spray. It's just missing. But
is it a spray that you have to use?
I have a spray bottle of, like, straight vodka, and it's supposed to be, like, a last resort, like, let me the fuck up. Dang it! I'm sorry!
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry!
Oh my god!
I'm
earmuffs,
sorry.
Earmuffs!
I'm normally so much better about it, too. What the heck?
It's because you're nervous, because there's an actual audience here tonight.
I can't even see that there's an audience.
Yeah, Morris is here, too. Morris showed up, too. Ben, I think
I'm
Ben's
still
bugs
using your dirt.
She's using your dirt, dude. Substrate. Is Ben Waller? I think that's Ben's bugs. Sorry. So who got you into the hobby? So it was your rats, and then that got you into.
Yeah, it was the rats, and I used to like watch the snakes at school and everything, and then that first little baby ball python I got, he was he was like itty bitty, like he fit in like the cup of my hand.
Oh, wow.
And I actually, when I bought him, this lady, I'm so sorry if this lady ever hears from me. I doubt it. She disappeared off the face of the earth. But she showed up, and I was like, I don't even know. I was like early high school, so like pretty young. And this woman gets to my house. She drove like an hour to my house, and I walk up to her, and I'm like, "Oh, here, I have like 6 gift cards to pay you with instead of cash." And she took it. I had gift cards I had gotten for Christmas.
God bless that lady. Oh
yeah,
my god.
I mean, I don't know who she was. I don't know why she decided to take that, because like they could have been used. I don't know why she just trusted this random child. But
It's like those guys outside of Best Buy. Hey man, can I sell you this $200 gift card for $40? I just need gas money. Oh
No,
yeah,
it was like,
sure.
and it was the exact amount that she had wanted. So like, it wasn't even I was giving her extra. It was like a Walmart card, a bookstore card, a food card, a couple Amazon cards. Like,
Unreal. She's like, yeah, sure, that works.
yeah, and then
Slowly.
she was like, she didn't even act mad or anything. She was just like, okay, cool. Here's your tiny little noodle that like, and he was a little small too, so I feel like he was a little small to have been sold. So I don't know. She was sketchy too, but thank you.
I mean, probably. She's just, at least she wasn't taking cash from meth or something. Like that's good.
I don't know. She was nice. She didn't get mad or anything, which was surprising. But I was like terrified of getting him. I thought I'd never touch him. And then like later that day, I had him out and holding him.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you're big snakes, like you have to. Yeah, at least you got paid. How much was the total? Do you mind if we ask how much was the total in gift cards?
I don't honestly remember. I want to say it was probably close to 100, 150. It wasn't a ton. But I mean, like, enough to, like, she could have been messed up, like, if my money wasn't real.
That's too funny. Well, she knew where you lived. So, I mean,
True.
It's not that big a chance. Just take it out of your windows.
And I found her off Craigslist, too.
Oh, my God. Dude, it couldn't even... you're so lucky to be alive.
Oh my God. I've done so many like really sketchy deals lately. It's insane. My friend had a gun pulled on her last time when she went to pick up a snake for me. Like,
You pulled a gun on her? What?
my
The interview just went totally left.
I'm sorry. I just, like you said, I could have died, and you're so right. I've had so many, like, just ridiculous encounters over the last few months in trying to pick up a snake or a rack or something, and it's just...
Dude, that is insane.
This rack right here, I'm still testing
Okay.
it. I haven't put anything in it. But that one, I went with a friend of mine and her boyfriend because I needed a bigger car to go pick it up. So we convinced him to take us or whatever. And I had never met this guy that we went with either, but she like vouched for him. Great guy, by the way. But,
Okay.
but we go to the guy to pick it up, and we had agreed beforehand. I was giving him I was trading him a ball python, and I can't remember the amount of cash, but it was the ball python and some cash for his rack.
Okay.
No, I totally said that wrong. That's what he thought was happening, but he was supposed to do the rack and some cash for the ball python. But so I guess like we get there, and then he's flipping out because apparently he already owes some guy that amount of cash for drugs or whatever. And he thought I was giving it to him and he was supposed to give it to me. And like, we had talked about it quite a few times. We had texted, we had called. Like, I thought it was pretty freaking clear what was happening. And apparently it wasn't. So the guy loses his mind. It was a little bit dangerous.
It's so crazy. That is so... those who don't know Amy, she is a magnet for insane, crazy stories. So,
Oh, yeah.
that's the story. That's the nightmare story. Like, as a dad whose daughter probably weighs as much as you when she's 3, that's the nightmare. That is the nightmare that I live. Like, I want her in every kung fu class for sure.
We were like in the guy's house, and he had like an alarm system, and he had like locked the door behind us, saying he didn't want his alarm to go off, and he ended up like getting on the phone with somebody, like screaming into the phone, talking about, I'm getting hot up in here, like you need to come, like, can we leave?
Oh my God.
It was honestly terrifying. I puked on the ride home.
Yeah, we're thrown up on that guy's floor, I think. There's no question. So this around your neck. So this snake, I'm noticing that the tail end is way different than the front end. Is that normal for that?
Yeah, she's a true red-tailed boa, so her tail will actually get brighter as she ages.
Cool.
Well, to a point, not like crazy bright, but
Sure.
a lot of people will get boa impurators, and they'll be labeled Colombian red tail at like a pet store, and that's not the case. But she's from the Florida red tail line. I want to say her dad might have been from the Futo line as well. I'm not sure, but she's got like specific lineage, and she's going to be a future breeder for me.
That's cool. Like that's one of the things you really have to be careful with in the reptile industry now is the lineage of your animals.
Yeah, there's a lot of like scamming too. So like you need to know what you need to know what you want and about it when you're going into buying something.
Yeah, and do your homework.
Yeah, a lot of people will be like, "Hey, I want a red tail," and a lot of people don't understand the difference between a BCC and a BCI. The BI now it got changed, I guess. But the true red tails, they get bigger, their tails get redder. The BIs, they stay a little smaller, which most people need a little bit smaller. But the genetics are completely different. It's just not the snake that they said they wanted, and people constantly sell BIs as true red tails or whatever. And it's just the BIs are a lot cheaper too, so they get the price higher, and it's difficult. But I mean, it happened. It happened to me the first time I wanted a red tail.
There's too many scammers, and then what are you going to do with that snake? Like you're stuck with it. Like if people didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah, to a point. I mean, my big male Merlin was actually that first snake. Like he's not a true red tail. I don't even know what he is, but I mean, he's special to me. He's puppy dog tame. He's really sweet.
Yeah. Well, and that's awesome. That's awesome to have him. Like a lot of snakes are kind of like that. Like this guy's reticulated. I was pretty shocked that thing was unbelievably tame.
Yeah.
He literally didn't control the head of the animal. He controlled the tail, which I didn't know. I talked to somebody later, and they said if they can get the tail around him, they might wrap. Is the problem. So I don't know how true that was, but that was crazy to me. But he was a reticulated python that was super tame.
I've never had a retic or a Burmese or any of those, and they're illegal now where I am. But I mean, I've seen a few, and they're gorgeous.
No offense, but where you are, good. Like if they get out or get let go or whatever because they suck and they bite and they're huge, like they cause major problems.
Well, there was a program going around. I can't remember the name of it, but it was the thing where like all the animals that were getting out were like pit tagged and like. But since that program was being done and people had the permits and had their animals microchipped, not a single one of those was found in the wild. So it's not a matter of like everybody's just letting the animals go. There was, I want to say, Hurricane Andrews hit a big breeding facility. And
I heard that was a problem.
Yeah, that was where the like original like snakes got loose, like the retics and the Burmese and everything. And I'm not 100% positive, but I heard that the people who ran that like asked for help and were forced to like evacuate, and they weren't allowed to take their animals. So like that wasn't even something that they could have prevented, but it was just like the government was just kind of like, no, we're not going to help you. And then they got mad anyway. So I don't know, but like the laws and everything, it's gotten to a point where it's kind of too late. So it's just hurting the actual responsible keepers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it might be keeping some jerks from doing something stupid too. But
realistically though, if you're going to have these animals and you're not going to follow the laws, you're not going to care about the new laws. You're going to keep doing it anyway.
Right. But it gives them the opportunity, I think, to, sorry, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I think it gives them the opportunity to punish the people they're doing it the wrong way. But I do see how it can be, those laws in Florida now can be used as examples to change the laws in other states to make things ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just the beginning is the thing too. Like the way they worded the things makes it super easy to just continue to add things that they don't need to add.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. I was talking to Biggs last week about they're trying to shut down, or I don't know if they did it yet or not, but there was a fishery in Hawaii. And if they shut that down, like it's been the most responsibly run fishery in the United States for decades. And if they shut that down, like it's going to affect the whole hobby.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, the whole aquarium hobby will be affected by that one.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I know Hawaii is like really strict on the, like, I guess there's not a single type of snake that lives in Hawaii or something. So, like, no snakes are allowed there. True.
Yeah, they used Guam as an example for that because snakes got into Guam and just ruined the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So,
Which, I mean, anything that doesn't belong is going to cause problems. So, like, that makes sense. But
dude, you can't be on the show today. Like, we had you on the show last week.
I've been hearing him.
He won't. He won't. He won't leave me alone. Do you need to be the mascot of the show now? Come here. So, oh, now he runs away. All right.
Oh, of course.
I've been squirting him with the water bottle.
Oh,
no. Like, get out of here. Just on mist. It's fine. It's on mist.
No, you're fine.
He's all right. But yeah, I know we didn't want to really go in deep on this. We're not going to go in deep on this law, but I think it is important to talk about. So, like, I know that Florida is a hotbed for invasive species because everything can just live there forever. Like,
the climate's too good for like reptiles and stuff.
Right. Like the giant land snails that I want. Like, and this is just me being a crybaby about not being able to get them. I don't think my wife would allow it anyway. I just have to let them loose in my basement. But we can't have them in Illinois. But they would never survive winter here. They would never survive winter. There's no way. So if they did get loose, like, they'd all die. So, and they're not going to friggin' make their way south. Like, they're not going to make their way south by winter. You know what I mean? They're not going to migrate.
Inch by inch, we'll get there.
Yeah, they couldn't even hitch a ride on, maybe on an SUV. They can hitch a ride on an SUV. But, like, some of the things are so dumb. But I can't have a land snail, but I could buy a sloth in Illinois.
A sloth?
I could buy a sloth, yeah. So I'm going to do a Kickstarter, guys. Get me a sloth. The original. He will be on my shoulder every show. I'm going to name him Herman, even if it's a girl. But yeah, you can buy a sloth. I found a website that'll sell me a sloth, but they're like, they basically pull it right out of the wild, and I think that's super irresponsible.
Yeah.
So I'm not advocating buying a sloth, but I think it would be totally awesome at the same time.
There's a lot of things like I want to get that because they're like mainly wild caught. I've just, like stayed away from and everything. It's not good to support that really.
I think it depends on the animal until
on the situation, but generally speaking.
Yeah, that's the problem is you have and I'm really new to all of the politics of the hobbies. But like I took an example. Look at that guy. He's a gorgeous snake. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a snake person at all, but that is I can appreciate a gorgeous animal.
She's definitely
sorry.
You're fine. She's definitely one of my favorites, and I'm really excited to see her growing up and everything. Like, look at that tail. Yeah. My camera is so terrible too. Like,
it looks like a different snake is wrapped around her. Like,
yeah.
Because all of a sudden it's just this abrupt change the way that she is.
Like cookie and cream spots on her belly.
Unreal.
It's so backwards looking into this camera. Like,
you'll never get used to it either. So I always point, like I'm pointing at you right now, but I'm not. No, I mean, like, where can you stretch her out a little bit so we can see where that red tail just starts? Because it seems like the way she's coiled is just boom, red tail all of a sudden.
Yeah, she's got a really good grip on my thumb. Hang on.
Yeah, if she doesn't want to, I don't want you to have to force her, but okay, so it is somewhat gradual, but it is pretty abrupt. Like, it's just all of a sudden red. I mean, that's just gorgeous. I always wonder what the purpose of that is in the wild. Like, what is that, a lure? Is that like, do they use that to lure other animals? Like, is this something to show off?
Not a lot is really known about it, but not her, but my bigger boa wiggles his tail like tip like this a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't put it past like some sort of lure or something.
Yeah.
He does it when he's about to eat. Sometimes he'll do it when he's starting to get annoyed, like if he's been held for too long.
Okay.
My lizards wiggle the tip of their tails like a lure. So I mean, I really wouldn't put it past snakes, but I don't know if anything's been like confirmed.
That's crazy. Yeah, because I know there are some snakes that do it. They do it as a lure to attract birds or whatever
There's
that they snack on, or they distract their prey. Like, look over here, and then bam.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but there's that one snake that has like the tail that like splits into like lots of. See, I'm like, but it splits into like lots of different ends and stuff, and it's supposed to look like a certain type of spider or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really cool snake.
All right, if you know, put it in the comments. If you're in the audience and you know what the heck she's
it's
talking
a
about,
venomous snake. I believe it's a desert-dwelling snake. I can't remember the name of it.
That's insane. There's so many crazy things that we know about now
It's
that are
really
just
cool,
like,
though. I'd love to have one.
just because it's cool, just because it looks neat. Like, that would be so neat.
I
Like,
feel like the majority of the reptile keeping is like, because it's cool. But
yeah, my cousin had a bug land on him, and he was about to smack it because he thought it was a wasp, and it was a wasp mimic mantis.
Ooh.
It was awesome. So it just stayed on him for like an hour. He took all kinds of pictures of it. And I've never seen one. He lives down the street from me. I've never seen one in Illinois. So now I'm on the lookout. Like every wasp I see, I'm like, I'm going to check you out. Ow, you're not a mantis. Because that would be so cool. What's that?
I said, oh
no. Yeah, not smart. Not smart. But all the mimics and whatever. But I think it's cool to see. That's a pretty bright coloration. I wonder what that does for them. Like, what's the purpose of that evolution?
I don't know. And it'll depend on the snake, too. Like, some of them are brighter, some of them are duller.
Yeah.
Hopefully she'll be on the brighter side once she matures a little more. She is 2 years old, though, so.
I mean, despite your crappy camera, like, it's really bright right now. So
yeah, I mean, even my hair looks kind of brown. So, I mean, that's a good way to see how, like, wonky the camera is.
Yeah, well, I mean, your hair looks clearly red. Like, it's clearly orange. Let's get out Merlin. Let's take a look at big old Merlin.
All right. She's got a hook all the way up in my armpit.
Of course.
There we go. Bye.
Bye, sweetie. What a gorgeous snake. Does anybody know what she's talking about? Some desert snake with a spider butt? It sounds like a nightmare. Like, I'm not necessarily afraid of snakes, but if one showed up in my bed in the middle of the night, I'd lose my mind.
I mean, if one of my snakes got out and ended up in my bed, I wouldn't be too happy either.
Now, are you just using the hook because he's up too high, or?
I have all of my snakes either tap trained or hook trained, however you want to say it. This is his. He is really, really calm, really sweet, but he is very food motivated. So I'll go in and I'll gently touch him behind his head with the hook to be like, hey, this isn't food. This is the hook. You're coming out.
Okay.
Because he will strike for food, but he hasn't actually bit me ever.
Okay.
Oh, I'm spilling.
I thought he just pooped on you. That was great.
No, that was water bowl.
Sorry, Wally. Enjoy the nightmares. Spider-tailed horned viper. All right, Rick, is that out of the desert? Is it a desert spider?
I believe so.
Or a desert snake? It's not a spider. A spider-tailed horned viper. That's insane. Whoa, that guy's big.
Where's the camera? There it is.
Now, will the other one get that big? The female?
That little girl should get bigger than him.
Oh, my God.
That little girl will hit 10 to 12 foot, potentially. He is 5 foot, maybe 6 foot. I haven't actually measured him.
Okay. I mean, he looks like he's already longer than you. So
yeah, he is longer than me. I've laid down next to him.
And how tall are you?
I'm like 5'5" around there. So I mean, he's like my driver's license says 5'5". I don't actually know how tall I am.
Can you see my face? Can you see my face of doubt?
I'm tall.
Just you got a wallet chain doesn't make you tough.
My grandmother is actually like 6'2", so like my family is kind of tall, but I mean I'm not the tallest.
For sure. My family's super tall, but not as tall as my wife's family. And my wife is 5'3". So
I'm gonna stand with him because he gets stuck on the chair.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool as long as you're comfortable with it.
Here, I can.
I mean, he's dope, and he definitely loves being out. You can tell.
Oh yeah, he's definitely. It's funny because I recently got another boa, who I named Sam for some reason. But it's funny to see the difference. Like, look at him. He's going up.
Yeah.
And he's always done that ever since I've had him. He always wants to go up. I used to have a ceiling fan at my old house, and he was obsessed with trying to get over the ceiling fan. Like, there's nothing on the ceiling at this place.
Yeah.
But he wants to go up. and he likes shoulders, tops of heads, and everything. And then the other boa I just got, he likes knees specifically.
Okay. He's like a periscope. He's like, what's up there?
There's nothing. The ceiling is flat.
Now, are they canopy snakes? Are they guys that hang out in the trees? Or
boas, they do a little bit of climbing, but they are pretty heavy-bodied snakes, so they're not generally climbers, but they can. I've been wanting to, like, maybe once I move and I'm not in a shitty apartment, I want to, dang it, I'm sorry.
That's fine, but we're already over our budget on swears, but that one's a lot better than your F-bomb catastrophes.
But I've been wanting to get, like, a branch and just hang it from the ceiling for him specifically.
I feel like that would be awesome.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, but, like, I feel like he would like that because the way he's always doing this kind of thing. What are you doing?
Yeah, I have some ideas for you. That won't damage your apartment and ruin your security deposit.
Because I got him a cat tree before, but but the thing with the ceiling thing is it's not connected to the floor, so he like could actually chill there and not disappear on me. The cat tree, he would end up across the room.
Gotcha. There is I guess I've seen people put their boa on a piece of hanging driftwood, like in a pet store. There's a place that we used to go to that had a big piece of driftwood that hung from the ceiling, and there was a boa that lived on it. And he was like,
I don't know about like living on it, but I feel like he would enjoy like sitting on it, having like out time and everything. Because like I have a dog crate right here, I can't let my snakes wander the house.
Oh, because you have a dog? You have a dog in there?
Yeah, she's sitting right here next to the computer.
She's watching that snake like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely won't ever trust her around the snakes because, I mean, I tried to, like, show her a piece of shed one time and she jumped up and ate it. So, like, no.
Oh, that would be a terrible fight. What kind of dog is it?
She's a Corgi Bull Terrier mix.
Okay, yeah, so that would be bad for the snake. Never mind. I was worried it would be, like, bad for the dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have ideas, but how handy are you with tools?
Not very.
Okay, all right. This could go either way. I'm like a budding DIY idiot, so I got an idea for you for making stuff out of branches, basically fallen branches. He's just so awesome. What does he weigh? Like 30 pounds?
I don't know. I haven't been able to weigh him. He must weigh more than 11 pounds because that's how much my scale goes up to.
So your trick is, as a vet tech, you get on the scale, either with him or without him first, and then you get on the
scale.
Well, figure it out. They're like $5, Biden bucks.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get one. But
go to Goodwill. They might hand you one. Or ask a fat lady. Like, she'll give you her scale. Like, oh, yeah, I don't ever want to look at this thing again.
Oh, no.
Fat men don't care.
Oh, he's doing the thing. He's got this thing. He really seems to, like, I mean, obviously you can't say snakes, like, enjoy things, but, like, I feel like he enjoys doing this because he goes out of his way to do it.
Stick his tongue in your ear?
That, and he's very sweet, he's very calm, he likes to hiss in your ear. He's never mad, but he does it on a regular.
He's just whispering to you. He's not...
Like, he sticks his nose in your ear and will, like, let out a full breath of air. And he does it on a regular, so, like, I don't know, I feel like he likes doing it.
I think most of these animals are smarter than we give them credit for. So, especially larger reptiles, even amphibians. I feel like they are smarter than we give them credit for. And they're finding that out in a lot of species, that they're smarter than we thought. Like, I need to get somebody that has octopuses on here because I want to talk about octopuses.
That'd be cool. Or cuttlefish.
But I feel like there are snakes that are super smart. We had Colin Langendorfer. I don't know if you watch the show regularly, but my show. But he's got 2 green anacondas. Ooh. And they're still kind of juvenile.
They're also illegal here now.
That makes sense. For Florida, I'm sorry, that makes sense. I'm sorry. A snake that could potentially eat people? Yeah, no, sorry.
A friend of mine has a yellow anaconda, and
Okay.
he's got like the permits for it and everything. But oh my god, that sucker is so mean.
I believe they had to get education permits, but the one I met, Gamora, he has Gamora and Nebula, and Gamora is the sweetest snake I've ever. He put her on me, and I was like, eh. And I've never been impressed with a snake, like thinking about they could get you. But as soon as, like, you can feel the muscles on that guy right now. As soon as you get them on you, you're like, oh my god, this is serious.
This snake, like, he's definitely really strong. I mean, you just saw me like prevent him from wrapping around my neck.
Yeah.
That's something like he's borderline. If he were to get any bigger, or if any of my other snakes get any bigger, it would be that rule where you don't pull the snake out unless you have another person in the room, just in case.
Oh yeah.
Because like he may not want to hurt me, but if he were to go around my neck and get scared he's gonna fall, they do have a pretty good grip strength.
Right, and it could be an accident at that point. Like,
yeah, 100% total accident, but issues can happen.
Right, and it's insane how strong they are. Like,
yeah, like even just right now, me trying to pull him back a little bit, he's fighting against me, and like he's not mad at all. He just wants to hang on. He's scared.
Right. Right.
But like you said about the really like gentle snake and everything, before I got him, he was supposedly like an exhibition snake is what they called it. So he would go around to like the kids' schools and everything, and he'd just get passed around. So I mean, he is like puppy dog tame. Like I can hold on to his head, I can pet his head, like he really doesn't care. Like the only thing he doesn't like is his tail tip messed with for some reason. And even then he just pulls it away and gets like slightly annoyed. But like I can open his mouth and look inside of his mouth. I can hold him kind of however I want. Like he's never cared. And honestly, like for how long I've had him versus like some of my little snakes, like the little snakes, they're cool and all, but they're younger. So like they're kind of like, yeah, they could be friendly, but I feel like they're not as used to things. So like if somebody comes to my house and like wants to see a snake, I'm always like, hey, if you're comfortable with bigger snakes, he's the one to go with. Because, like, the smaller snakes, again, they're cool and all, but I feel like they're more risky. See, he's doing that tail thing I mentioned.
Is he done being out?
No, he's just that little luring thing. Like, he just does this.
Does he just want to go home now? Is he done with the show?
I don't know. I mean, probably not. He always likes being out, but I was just putting it out.
Yeah, I know you don't like me checking your claws. Somebody needs a nail trim.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. They like to get me through my shorts. Yeah, they're bad. My bad boys. Now I had a thing, this is my philosophy, I guess, like reptiles. I never fully trust a reptile. Like I'm always like at least on a yellow alert with a reptile, just because that's that different kind of brain to me, that reptile brain. I don't know if this is my old brain talking, like I'm an old man now, so like that's what I grew up with thinking. And I mean,
they're a cold-blooded animal. They do legitimately have a different way of thinking than we would.
Right, so I never fully trust them. Like they could flip at any time to me, like no matter what. Like I see them at shows where they have here when they did at NARBC a while ago, they had a guy who would come with a full-size alligator. And you would put your kid on it and take pictures, and I'm like, never. I would never put my kid on that thing. Like I don't think its mouth is taped or anything.
Oh goodness.
Like, even if it hit you with the tail, even if it just like turned its head hard and hit your kid's done. So I don't know. That part I think is kind of irresponsible. I guess you could say that about any animal, really, any show animal.
Yeah. I mean, like with this snake, I would honestly like I've trusted this snake quite a bit more, but say like that olive python I recently got, she has really kind of reaffirmed like you can't trust a lot of snakes. Because like every single time she has bitten me or somebody else so far, she has seemed completely calm until she's latched on. And that's a behavior that's really weird to me, because like I have dealt with a lot of like aggressive snakes, and a snake isn't necessarily aggressive. Like they're not going to be coming after you. They're going to be like defensive. Like if you're in their space, they're going to act aggressive because they're scared. But in every case of an aggressive snake before, they've always got like their warning signs, like they'll be reared up or they'll be hissing or they'll be visibly uncomfortable or something. She seems like she'll be angry when you first pull her out, and then she'll calm down, and then she'll get you.
That's weird. She's like waiting for you to be like relaxed. And then,
yeah, exactly. My friend, I don't know if you saw that picture of her coiled around somebody's hand. That's
Okay.
my friend Rowan, because she bit me on the back of my head, and she was going around my friend's shoulders, and she was looking at my friend's head weird. I was like, hey, you're about to take a head bite. So she raised her hand to block, and that's when the snake grabbed her hand instead of her head.
Dude. Well, at least it grabbed her hand.
Yeah. But then
the
snake sat and held onto her hand for like 15 minutes.
Sorry, buddy. How big is that snake?
She's not very big at all. I was told she was bigger than she was, and honestly, it's kind of a blessing that she's smaller than I thought she was.
Yeah, it sounds like a blessing.
Because, I mean, she doesn't hurt when she bites right now. Like, I mean, it hurts a little bit, but, I mean, like, if he were to bite and hold on, it would hurt a lot more.
Well, all I had to do was see a picture of those teeth in like an emerald tree python.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a hard nope. Like, those teeth are meant to grab.
Those guys, I believe they have the biggest, like, constrictor teeth, and they're prone to biting. So, like,
yeah, I've heard they're
just
evil.
Don't interest me enough. I won't ever have one.
I saw a guy at a show that had one. He had two, and they were, I don't know how big they get. I've only seen them at the zoo, so like I've seen them get like probably ball python size, right? Not as thick. But these
I'm not really sure. They get a decent size. They're arboreal, so I think they're longer more than thicker.
These guys were like about as big around as my thumb, the body was.
Yeah, I've seen bigger than that.
Yeah, the green one, he said, like, don't go near that one. And then the yellow one, like, his kid was walking around with it, holding it, and it was like this guy's super tame. And I was like, well, that would be worth the price. And it was bright yellow, like highlighter yellow.
They change colors. They're the emerald tree boas, they're born like bright red, bright yellow, but then they turn green as they get older.
Oh, that's cool. He is a ham.
He's such a good boy.
So now, do you have any pro tips for people that are keeping snakes? Like, say, someone that might be starting out or is coming along?
I mean, I'm not like a superior expert or anything by any means.
But you're a keeper. You're a keeper. Like, we don't necessarily have experts on the show per se. Okay. We've had a few I would call experts. We had a few people I would call experts, but I pretty much ask everybody this question because everybody's advice is different. So I'm counting on you. Nothing you say is going to be stupid.
My biggest thing, because I used to do rescue. I have a couple I've recently took in, but I really haven't in a while. And my biggest thing is I see so many of these amazing animals like mistreated, neglected, and sometimes people just don't even realize that they're not doing it right. There's a lot of Google does kind of suck sometimes. Most people are going to be getting like a ball python, a boa, a sand boa, stuff like that, the more common stuff. Google's great. They've got all the information you could ever need. Do your research. Join Facebook groups with like the same kind of animals you're getting and like post your setup. People will tell you if you're messing up. Sometimes people aren't necessarily the nicest, but I mean, as long as
Turd frog groups. Sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
But generally speaking, other people in the hobby are willing to help you if you need help. Anybody who's a good person in the hobby wants these beautiful animals to be well cared for, like set up good, like safe and well fed and everything. Not overfed, but well fed.
Right.
That's really the biggest thing. Like, before you get an animal, do your research. Make sure you have like something going. I mean, like, look, this rack that I pointed out earlier, I've had that rack running for like a week now. I'm making sure like the temperatures stay steady, the wiring is solid, like everything, because it was a used rack. Right. You want to, like, not even necessarily with that, like even at your enclosures and everything, you want to have them running before you get the animal to work out those kinks. Because I mean, like a sudden heat spike that could kill your snake.
Right.
And there's a number of things. Usually these animals are pretty hardy, but there are things that could easily kill your snake or turtle or anything. Just like
any cold-blooded, any cold-blooded, even warm-blooded animals could have problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Even fish. I know people talk about like cycling and everything. Like you want to have your tank going. Like same thing. Like you don't. I mean, and I'm not even like I've definitely done that where I've like gone to a show. Like I'm not going to get an animal and then I'll get an animal last minute. But I mean, I've had years of experience. Like I can come home, make sure I have a setup good right away.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's your first animal, make sure you're planning, like you know what's up.
We had this is another horrible wife story. So we had baby turtles that we were keeping in baby red ears, right?
Uh-huh.
So I bought them at a show as an educator, which obviously I'm not. So we had them in a 20 long, and they had a little area to get out on the land, but mostly they were aquatic mostly. So I go, this is awful. So I go to check on them, and I'm lifting rocks, and I can't find one of them. So I'm looking around, and I'm reaching in the tank. I had on rubber shoes. I had on rubber-soled shoes, and they had a submersible heater. So I'm in the tank, and I'm looking around, and my wife goes to reach for one of them, and she goes, "Oh, I think he bit me." I was like, "What? No, he didn't." And so she reaches in again, and she's like, "Oh, I think I got a shock." And I'm like, "What? My hands are in here. Nothing's wrong."
Oh no!
I said, "Reach in again and tell me what happens." So she does. So blasted 3 times. One of them was on so the heater had broken, and it was just conducting electricity into the water. So
oh
no! The turtles were fine because they weren't grounded, and I wasn't grounded, but my wife was. So.
At least the turtles were okay. That's horrible.
Yeah, they were swimming around like nothing was wrong. So I was like, "Oh my god!" So I had to pull the heater out. She was so mad. So
I used to keep fish, and I had a heater explode on me and do that.
Yeah, it's bad when it gets like too low and it gets exposed to air or whatever. It can be really quick. So let's see. I had one more question for you before we go. Pro tips, who or what? Okay, what do you think is the most rewarding part of snake keeping? Like, what's the best part of it to you? Besides this right here, besides what you're doing right now.
I personally really enjoy setting up enclosures, and he did the thing again. He hissed in my ear.
He wants your neck so bad.
I really enjoy setting up enclosures and just like watching them. And a lot of the times earning their trust. Like with the false water cobra, she's a more intelligent species than most of them, and she displays things that kind of like proves that to me. And like having like working with her, and I mean she's definitely not great. She's still really sketchy, but but like slowly earning her trust has been really rewarding. And for me personally, a lot of the reptile community is like really enjoyable. You just kind of learn to like tune out the idiots and the jerks and everything, because I mean a lot of people in the reptile community are like really self-centered, really like kind of harsh and everything. But I mean, I try to like spread the positivity. Like I help anybody who comes to me. Like literally anyone is welcome to ask me questions about anything, and I'll do my best to help them out. And
that's how it should be. Like, I mean, I don't want anybody's breeding secrets. I think that's how it should be. But like, it's not how it's going to be. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be coming to me asking how to breed, like that's not really where you need to be. But
Yeah, but like you might have some tips for somebody. I feel like some people just hoard their secrets, or they think they're secrets. It's like it's not a secret. Like you've done some groundwork, but come on, man, you're putting 2 animals together. They're gonna bang. They're gonna do their thing. So your job is to keep them from killing each other in their limited space. So what's the tip? Like supervision? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and then people with isopods, like there's people that, I have an interview not coming up, but in a little while, but I've been told like they're not going to give up trade secrets. And I was like, I don't ask for trade secrets. What do you mean? Like, I'm not going to have you put up diagrams. But I do think that in the reptile community, and like I said, the dart frog community in particular, like people can be super dicks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I don't see that in the isopod community. Like maybe I'm sequestered, like I only belong to a couple groups, and I don't really pay attention to like the trauma.
110%. Like, I mean, the isopod 911 group. Like, I don't think I'm an admin. I think I'm a mod in there. But I mean, like that group, I've really only seen positivity from there, and that's not something that's super common in Facebook communities.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's like the isopod groups in general. Like I haven't seen a lot of here and there. You'll get some bad actors, but it's not like. Is he around your waist now? I was like, she's walking really funny, and I don't see a snake anymore. So.
He's doing the thing that other boa really likes doing. They like to get around your knees so you can't walk. You gotta be like.
That's really funny. The look on his face is like, I got her. And now he's gonna pull your legs together. Just look at the muscles on that guy. Super cool. All right, well, I'm gonna get in touch with you later this week with a design for a tree for him. That won't affect your dog. And then hopefully it'll be cheap too. So other than that, I think this was good. Thank you very much for coming on. And we did bring it back to isopods. So we didn't even know you had janky knees on those pants.
Oh.
That was great. So we're going to say goodbye to Merlin. Don't get eaten by the dog.
Oh, did you want to see the dog?
No. Okay. I mean, if you want to show us the dog, that's fine, but dogs aren't listed under ISO Buddies. But we did see Ophi's dogs last week, so we're getting there. But I mean, Ophi is 8 and adorable, so I would have looked at My Little Pony dolls for the whole hour with her.
Aww. Yeah, I almost asked you yesterday if you wanted me to feed anything today, but I figured that'd be a little meh.
I mean, it's neither here nor there. I don't think we've fed anything yet. That would have been a first time. But I don't know. For me, it's not anything I'm into.
Yeah.
I think there's videos for that.
I mean, I don't feed live, so it's not like a cruelty issue, but a lot of people don't want to see that.
I don't think it's a cruelty issue anyway. Like they would be eaten in the wild. They're feeder species. Like
yeah.
That's what they exist for, is to be eaten. So maybe not in an enclosed situation like that, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it really, I guess it depends on the situation. Come here.
Sorry, I have the worst sunburn, and it's just at that point where it's itching.
Aw.
She's part corgi?
Come here.
Nah, that's a pit bull mixed with another pit bull.
Here, look.
Hi, sweetie. What's her name?
Her name is Rue, like kangaroo.
Rue. You wanna go outside? You wanna go outside?
Ears. She's got these gigantic corgi ears.
Okay, that part's corgi.
I see the color, how like the tan corgi color, and the ears are really like the only thing I see of corgi.
Look at, she's making me yawn.
She was asleep, so.
Oh, all right. Well, that'll do it. She's like, I woke up for this show. This guy's got 92 followers. What am I watching this for?
Aw.
So awesome. Thank you for coming. I learned a lot about snakes. I don't know if anyone else did, but I sure did. And like, you've definitely got the knowledge for 20 years old. Holy cow. So,
yeah,
and
I've got a lot of other snakes too, but nothing's really like comfortable to be sitting with except those guys.
Yeah, I don't want you getting envenomated. So I was hoping we could talk about maybe we'll figure out a way to do an add-on or something where we can see your false water cobra on video, like with the phone.
I mean, I could like take a video and send it to you. I don't know if that.
We could do that.
Because I tried really hard to look out. I tried really hard to figure that out. It just wasn't gonna work.
That's fair. Like we never know what's gonna happen.
I did it like 4 times, but then it was like, just kidding.
Yeah, right. So awesome. Well, we'll get to it. We'll figure it out. So that, and if you ever get to go do the spider milking again, I want to hear about that too.
Oh.
So, or that facility, that was awesome.
Gotcha.
So I'll mention that in the comments, guys. So, all right. Anyway, Amy, thank you for coming. It was a fun time.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk to you soon. All right?
All right.
All right, later. That was a lot of fun for me. Honestly, I learned a lot, and I got off track a lot, but that was a good interview. I feel like that went really well. For me, anyway. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you did, click like, click subscribe, share with your friends, tell someone. We're here to help the community. We're going to get a little bit more formatted. Next week, we're talking to Dan Vivas. He is kind of a guru of bioactivity, from what I understand. So if I'm wrong, I'll change that because I've been wrong a lot, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Dan was introduced to me by our former co-host, our original co-host, and he's just been awesome the whole time. I think I knew him before because he was already in my friends list, but Dan's a really good guy. So we're going to have a good time talking to him next week. We're going to get back to our roots and do isopods again. We're going to talk the pure benefits of bioactivity, maybe some extra levels of it because we've touched on it before. I don't want to just keep recycling information, but we'll touch on some of the same stuff and then get into some other levels. So, yeah. And if you haven't done it already or you missed it before, let me know if anybody wants to get involved or thinks it's a good idea to do the Redbubble thing. You don't need to get involved. You don't need to do anything. So, because I don't know, I think it'll be fun to put my artwork to isopod stuff or whatever, custom stuff for the audience, for you folks or whoever. So, join us next week, 8:30 p.m. CST, and we'll see you later. ISO Buddies out, and we're going to